all you colorful sprinkles, it's Willow, and this week we're heading into Minnesota. Yes, we're heading into Minnesota, and check out these beautiful wind turbines we saw on the way to our destination. And speaking of our destination, if you haven't read the title yet or you don't know where we're going, we're heading into the beautiful city of Austin, Minnesota. Austin is such a beautiful city, and I actually lived there about 2010, and it was a wonderful place to live, and I remember it fondly, except for it's changed a lot since I've been there. And coming back, it was a little disorienting looking at all these roads that I had been on before, but I just don't remember all the buildings around it. It's really crazy how much things will change over time. One thing that didn't change though, they still had the Tendermaid building, and it's really good to see Tendermaid hamburgers. They've been around for a long time, so it was cool to see that. But the other place that calls Austin, Minnesota home is the Spam Museum, which is where we're going today. Hey everyone, we are in Austin, Minnesota at the beautiful Spam Museum. Yes, we are at the Spam Museum. I love the Spam Museum. It's a fun little attraction here in this cute little small town. Let's go on in and see what they have inside, and we're with some friends. Say hi, friends. Yay! All right, let's go. I would also like to check out this Paramount Theater sometime, so maybe next time I'm in town, we'll see if we can get in contact with the owners. But let's head into the Spam Museum. Up front, there's this cool statue of a farmer and some future Spam. Across the street's a bookstore and some other shops. Maybe we'll check out some of those in a little bit. It is cold outside though, so let's go on in. Y'all ready? There is a Spam conveyor belt that goes across the entire place. If you look at the top of the roof there, you can see it kind of moving around. They also have some videos going out here. Let's see what this is all about here and take a Spam quiz. So I've come to find out that this is probably something you do after you walk through the entire museum and learn all the facts, not before you go in. Let's see how I did. And I got a 2. Let's check out our first exhibit. Now this is the WWII Hormel Co. I guess it's a wagon where they brought all their products into town, maybe for deliveries and such. This was before they had refrigerators built into these giant cars. You would just get your things on wagons. Let's head on in here. I don't even know where to start here. Guess we'll head further in. Over here to this photo wall. There's George A. Hormel, the OG Hormel. There he is again over there. There's J.C. Hormel as a child, and there's some people camping out. Look at all this. They've got a lot of historic photos of the area. But this one photo here shows the WWII Hormel & Co. Provision Market, which is what this entire room is built to look like. You can kind of get a vision of what it used to look like. There's the photo, and there's the market. There's a sign on this cash register that says this cash register is thought to have been used in the Hormel Provision Market. And now let's listen to a short audio dialogue of the handoff between George Hormel and J.C. Hormel.
Jay, you learned this business from the ground up. You know what's to be done, and it's time for you to carry on. We don't always see eye to eye. You know, I've always thought you reckless.
This is the handoff between George Hormel and J.C. Hormel.
For you, there is no responsibility.
And how about this old fridge? It was one of those ones that you used to have to put an ice bucket in. keep it nice and cold for you. I love looking at the evolution of the Spam can. I like that little twist off top too. How it kind of does the little Pac-Man thing. That's pretty neat. And then there's a blue Spam can in 1941, and I kind of wonder why it's blue, or maybe that's just faded from time. And then we see the Hormel chili con carne. It's really cool to see the art evolve over time. And then I saw Dinty Moore, which is a brand I haven't heard about. It turns out, when the government halted a Depression-era federal program, it left Hormel with 500,000 empty cans. So they needed a product to fill these cans, and what they did was they invented Dinty Moore, which was ready-to-eat meals in a can. And that was their solution to having too many cans. It looks like they have a few flavors. Corned beef cabbage, which would be popular right now because it's about to be St. Patrick's Day. Ox joints, beef stew, spaghetti. They also have another beef stew back there as well. And of course, lastly, the ham. Yep, that's a ham in a can. Alright, let's check out the war room. And we're gonna try to lift this box full of Spam. It wasn't too hard to do with the pulley system. Both Lavi and Ivy tried and did it successfully. Then I decided to give it a go. Let's give it a one-hander. We did it!
Here, let me try.
Give it a go.
Ooh.
During World War II, Spam was a vital staple protein for Allied troops and civilians, with over 150 million pounds shipped worldwide. Its long shelf life and lack of a need of refrigeration made it perfect for front-of-the-line rations and at-home rations as well. Beyond food, soldiers used the fat for gun lubricant and waterproofing, and empty cans were recycled to repair airplane fuselages. Ooh, and here is a letter from Dwight D. Eisenhower. And let's head on over to the next exhibit, Spam Around the World, which we did take a bunch of pictures of. And if you'd like to see those pictures, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's at SassyScoopICS, one word, and you can see all our photos we took on our fun adventure. And coming from this section from World War II, it makes sense that we start here in Hawaii, which this is where Spam was introduced in World War II to help feed the GIs, and Spam became a traditional part of Hawaiian cuisine. Now let's head on over to China. Interesting here. I didn't even know this. Spam wasn't introduced in China until 2009. That's insane. That's really recent for a brand that's so old. And of course they're going to measure the Great Wall of China in Spam cans. That's a lot of Spam cans. And let's look at some of the Chinese Spam product packaging here. Look at that. It's really neat to see the packaging from all over the world. And in South America, they have arroz con Spam, which is Spam and rice pretty much, and that looks delicious. I would love some rice and Spam right now. Then we head into the kitchen of South Korea here. Look at the beautiful rooftop up here. And then we head into South Korea's little Spam area, and you can see they even have this fancy Spam kit. Look at this. This is fine living. Spam Classic in olive oil in a box? That sounds amazing. Add some cheeses in there too. Then you have some Spam with Korean lettering on there. And something's cooking up in this wok here. Looks like Spam. Let's head on over to the Philippines, which is another country that Spam was introduced to during the Second World War. All that food up there looks delicious. Now let's head across the way over to Japan, which has this funny dancing commercial on. That's fun. Oh, look at the dancing Spam character. And they have a bunch of Spam dishes down here. They all look delicious. Lastly, actually almost lastly, second to last, we head on over to the UK area. And it's in a little tavern called the Flying Pig. Let's check out how Spam was introduced to the UK. Ooh, first. Nice. Oh, and look at this little pig art on a newspaper. Cafe menu. And a wedding was held at the Spam Museum. Look at that. And Paddington Bear hanging out at the Spam Museum. And then, of course, on the back wall is Australia, which has been around there since like the 1960s. I think this was one of the questions on the quiz I took earlier. Sir Cantelot's year of being introduced was 2012. It was the brand's 75th anniversary, and they brought him out as a character. Now let's find out how many Spam cans tall we are. First, we'll have Bean go. About 18 cans of Spam for Bean. 18 and a half cans of Spam for Bean. How many Spam cans? Let's see here. Right here, Spam cans. Around 22 Spam cans. And we've seen Spam in a can, but how does it exactly get in a can? Well, we can make Spam here at the museum, so Bean's gonna go ahead and try doing it right here at this You Can Make Spam station. I guess you start, you hit the button, you grab a can and fill it with your Spam, and then you grab a lid and put the lid on top of it. Then you cook it in the oven. Alright, it's cooking, it's cooking. Oh, the oven is done. That was a really quick cook. And then you put a label on it. I have a feeling that putting the label on it isn't done by humans anymore. It's probably done by a machine that does it really fast. In fact, most of these tasks are probably done by machines. Oh my goodness, this is hard to get on. There we go. All right, that's one can done. Are you supposed to do all 6? Then when you hit stop, it shows you how many, your time versus how many cans the Austin plant produces. That's a lot. In just 2 minutes, 1,169. In 2 minutes and 47 seconds. That's so many. All right, now that we know what we're doing, my wife's gonna give it a go, and she's gonna give it a go for speed. Look at her go. Zoom in. Once again, getting that label on is tough, but in 15 seconds. In 18 seconds, we forgot to hit it there, but 126 cans were made. And we just made 1 can. That's a lot of cans made at once. And if you look at the screens up here, you can actually see some pallets getting wrapped up and shipped out. Those are all cans of Spam. That's a lot of Spam. If you ever wanted to try on the worker outfit, you could try on the factory fashion. So I'm not big on trying on headwear because slice is a thing. And there's all sorts of lab coats you could try on as well if you wanted to experience what it was like. There's some different flavors of Spam. How many of you tried? I also like this little thing on the wall here. It shows you how it's made. You start with pork, 2 cuts from the same pig. You got some salt, water, potato starch. Then you got sugar, not that fake stuff, and sodium nitrate. And you get Spam. That's Spam for you. And look, those are the 2 cuts too, the pork shoulder and the pork butt. And of course, Spam being such a global sensation, it was featured in a lot of television and film. And also not just television and film, but stage, including Monty Python's Spam-A-Lot, which was on Broadway and has toured the United States and entertained audiences all over. Some Spam super fans. These are people that really love Spam. I don't mind Spam. I've actually had some Spam. Now this is cool. A little Spam Funko Pop can. I actually kind of want that character. That's really cute. Some collectible cars. Well, some other stuff. You can pretty much get those in the gift shop though. So let's look at the stuff you can't get in the gift shop. Now this says fun with Spam. This is one of my favorite things. This is a Spam catapult. You can launch Spam. You put your Spam on the hand there, and I guess you pull that little key pin out and it launches your Spam. And speaking of playing with your food, here's another way you can play with your food. You've got a Spam guitar, like a Spam washboard. You can, you know, play on the washboard there. You can play the little Spam ukulele there. And of course, look at that. Looks like it's made out of a lunchbox or something. And then over here, you've got the Spam Joe. And they have a little version you can get in the gift shop as well. This is interesting. The world's first bacon-fueled motorcycle. And there's a little QR code here. There's a great documentary about this bike going across country running only on bacon fuel. That's crazy. It runs on bacon grease. That would save me so much money in gas. Sam I Am, do you like green eggs and Spam? Well, here's some limited edition cans. Here's some Lilo and Stitch ones. There was some Dr. Seuss ones. Some Spam-A-Lot flavors. Would you try pumpkin spice Spam or figgy pudding Spam? Let me know in the comments. And for some people, Spam is a lifetime thing, and these are some people that had their weddings right here at the Spam Museum, the one we're physically in right now. These couples said they love Spam that much. Now, there's also an area for children. This has been closed every single time I come here, so we're gonna move on. Now, this is a brand new thing as of March. This is Spam Meets Bachan's Japanese barbecue sauce flavor. This was the one they were going around sampling to everyone, so if you get a chance to go there now, try it. I wish that we got a chance to try some Spam fries, though. That looks delicious. These are all the different brands that Hormel owns. Just like any museum, you exit through the gift shop. So let's head on through and see what kinds of cool Spam things they have inside. And you can see they have a lot of t-shirts. Up here, there's those conveyor belts again that we saw at the beginning of the video. Also, I like these sweaters. It's a little cold out, and I do need some more long sleeve shirts, so I might grab myself the neon Spam shirt over there. I kind of really like that design. And you can also get 12-pack variety packs, although they're $55. I mean, I guess that's a pretty good deal, though, even looking at how much it's sold at our local grocery store, and these are also flavors you can't get anywhere else. I'm definitely going to have to get a Spam patch, as well as one of these amazing lapel pins they have. These are kind of cool. Oh, and this one says Spamtown, Austin, Minnesota. And I love pins from where you're at. Those are really cool. And I'm just now noticing they have Spam earrings, and I didn't see them when I went there. I'll have to go back and get them next time. Ooh, little flying pig stress balls, or Pegasus. Even Spam flip-flops, they have car accessories, and I wonder if this air freshener smells like Spam. I really do wonder. Oh, and they got the little plushy keychain things. A Spam cookbook, 100+ quick recipes with Spam. And I'm seeing some postcards over here by the register, and as you know, I like to collect some postcards for wherever I'm at. I'll grab about 10 of them and send them to my friends. Okay, peak curiosity, has anyone tried Spam flavored macadamia nuts? That sounds interesting. I think next time I go, I might actually save up to get a variety pack of all the different Spam flavors. It'd be interesting to try them all. Would you watch me and some friends do a Spam taste test? Let me know in the comments. These are just adorable, but it's a little dark to think you're gonna eat them if you go to this museum. Super cute though. I think it's time to get a bag of stuff that I want and head to the checkout. I think everyone's getting tired. And just when I think I've seen it all, Ivy finds a Nerf that's a Spam Nerf, a Spurf if you will, and these little sushi can kittens, or pigs, or yeah, I think they're they're chickens and cats and owls. Oh, these are so cute. Okay, we're definitely not gonna make it out of here because I have to get myself a pressed penny. I love pressed pennies, and here is a pressed penny machine at the Spam Museum. And after learning about Sir Spamalot, I think it's only important that we get a Sir Spamalot pressed penny from the machine here. Let's check out what we got. Oh my goodness, there he is, Sir Spamalot pressed onto a penny. If we can get this to focus here. There we go. Sir Spamalot. And look at this, it's not for sale, but it's an old Spam pedal car. I wonder if this is a custom paint job or if it was made like that. I always have such a wonderful time at the Spam Museum. If you're ever in Austin, Minnesota, come visit. There's lots of things to do in this little small town. In fact, we're gonna go do some more, so let's go get our cart to the register and go get our things and head on to our next location here in Austin, Minnesota. Oh man, there's more stuff I didn't see. Okay, save some things for next time. I'll get it next time. Let's head across the street because there is a cool bookstore right here. This place is called Sweet Reads, and if you go inside of it, you'll find out what makes it so sweet. And it's not just the books, there are a ton of great new books. Of course, that is the focus of this shop. Although, I did notice a Spam blanket right here. That's pretty cool. I didn't see one of those in the museum. Tons of new and maybe some used books too. I wasn't sure if I think I saw some used books here in the back. I was looking for Goosebumps, but they only had the new Goosebumps. But they have this Museum of Sweet Collections, and I wanted to check it out. The lady who owns Sweet Reads was telling me this is the life work and collection of a lady named Julie who was a teacher and a librarian, and she would make these little puppets to teach kids all these little books. And this is her life collection. Her memory's been going, unfortunately, and her family wanted a way to show her her life's work and show her it being appreciated by others. There's a lot of Elmer books in here. A lot of elephant books in general. It says this rainbow fish was her first puppet. That is an incredible first puppet. That is so well done. She definitely had some skills. And here is Julie doing little performances for classrooms. This is so sweet. There she is, and there's her puppet. And there's her puppet right there as well. She's made quite a few puppets. This is incredible. Look at that. Julie, you are incredibly talented. Oh, here's The Very Hungry Caterpillar as well. I love that book. Oh, and here's a picture of Julie with her puppet Matilda, which was inspired by her grandmother. And you can see she wrote a book about Matilda here. Matilda taught children about library rules and stuff like that, and here's the puppet of her. And of course, Julie's collection isn't the only collection that has been here. There's a ton of different ones, like Berenstain Bears. That's an incredible Berenstain Bears collection. I'm gonna have to come back to this store just to see some of these collections. These are incredible. Some Star Wars, Beatrix Potter's Bionicles. Incredible. Look at this. There's some Harry Potter. And look at this train. It's got a 407 on it, which is my old area code being from Florida. That's pretty cool. I wonder what the 407 means. If you know what the 407 on the front of the train is, let me know. We had a lot of fun today in Austin, Minnesota, but I think we need to leave this place and head to our next location. But first we noticed there was a little something going on in front of the Spam Museum. Thank you. Thank you. What's your name? I'm Nick. Thank you for sharing your music with us, Nick. On our way to our next location, we did pass the Austin, Minnesota plant for Hormel. This is actually where Spam is made. This is who we were competing against in that canning exercise, I guess, at the museum. It definitely isn't as pretty as the museum, but you know what is pretty? These wind turbines that we pass on the way here. These are so pretty. And here we are at our next location, which, surprise, is going to be next week's video. We're going to the Apache Mall in Rochester, and we'll wrap up the video next week. This is a long video, so I definitely didn't want to go over 30 minutes. So make sure you hit the like button and also hit subscribe if you're new here, because I'll be doing more videos coming up and you'll want to catch next week's video. Alright, I'll see you later. Goodbye.